Hey, I don't know if you heard, but this week there was some wrestling in Japan. Let's get into that. Alright, so the big news this week that we're going to start with was Wrestle Kingdom 11. A lot of stuff happened on it. There was a lot of great wrestling. Adam Cole became the first ever three-time Ring of Honor champion when he defeated Kyle O'Reilly in a special match on the mid-card. So that was the biggest news of the show. That was the biggest thing. Best match. Nobody else talked about anything else on the show. I'm lying. I'm lying. There were a lot of great matches on it. I don't know enough about Japanese wrestling to do everything justice, but the main event, Okada versus Omega, Meltzer gave it 6 stars. I thought it was a fantastic match. Honestly, the first 10 minutes or so kind of bored me. I got what they were doing. They were setting up the attack on the lower back, upper back. It was all that. I didn't like how they did it. I realized it's the story they were telling. But the end of the match, the last half of the match, had me audibly exclaiming, oh my god, holy shit, stuff that I don't normally do actually out loud. I was doing throughout the entire second half of the match. So it was an amazing match. If you don't have New Japan Pro Wrestling World, if you don't have NJPW World, get a subscription. Just do it for a month. There's a list of great matches that Senior Lariato put together. I'll put a link to it in the description down here so you can check it out. Subscribe for 1 month. Watch this match. Watch some of these other matches that are highly suggested. You won't regret it. It's amazing stuff. One of my New Year's resolutions was to broaden my horizons with wrestling. So that includes watching more New Japan. They had their big New Year's Dash show, which is very much like WWE's Raw after WrestleMania. I mean, it's one day after. It's where they start up a lot of new storylines. And one of their big things was Suzuki Gun doing an invasion. I can't explain it to do it justice. It's something I'm not steeped enough in New Japan lore, Japanese wrestling lore, because it goes out beyond just New Japan, to really explain who Suzuki Gun is properly. But it's a big deal. So that's something to keep an eye out in the future. Also on the show, we saw a burning hammer from Michael Elgin, who had the day before won the New Japan Rumble. So that's a thing. Now back in America on Raw, strong show. We saw Bayley win a match against Nia Jax to claim the number 1 contendership for the Raw Women's Championship. But the big news from the show was how it ended. Kevin Owens got his own interview segment, the Kevin Owens Show, where he interviewed Goldberg. While he was interviewing Goldberg said that he was going to beat either Kevin Owens or Roman Reigns. Whoever won their match at Royal Rumble, that brought Roman Reigns out. They did a stare down when Braun Strowman came out and announced himself as an entrant into the Rumble. And there was a great moment where Roman Reigns and Goldberg, who had been staring each other down, kind of look at each other, look at Braun Strowman, and hit a double spear. It was a great confluence of time. The past and the present. Great job. Really sold the spear. This guy, Braun Strowman, who has been completely unstoppable, was actually taken down by the double spear, which made sense when you got Goldberg, who had just beat Lesnar 2 months ago, so brutally with it, and you've got Reigns, and whatever you want to say about Reigns, that spear is protected. When you got both of them doing the spear together, that's believable to work on Strowman. I loved it. It was great. Next night on SmackDown, another really good show. New Intercontinental Champion. We're probably not done with the Dean Ambrose Miz story, but we got the end to a chapter of it. Dean Ambrose, now the 2-time Intercontinental Champion. This should be good. Miz went on to Talking Smack afterwards, laid another great promo, basically a meltdown. You know, he's great at those. He's been doing some of his best promo work of his career since WrestleMania. And this is just another great addition to his oeuvre right now. He's really doing a great job. Fantastic. But Dean Ambrose is the better wrestler out of the two. He's got the belt. We saw Dolph Ziggler turn heel, which should be interesting. Hopefully that's not just so that he can go after Dean Ambrose soon. I'd rather they keep those two apart. I'd love to see Dolph Ziggler elevating some new faces. I'd love to see Apollo Crews, who kind of tussled with him in the locker room later, get a nice shot at Dolph Ziggler. I don't think Dolph Ziggler is going to lose so quickly in a feud after turning heel. I think he's going to have to win something to get credibility as a heel now. But I think Apollo Crews can still look good in the match, losing, and then pick up a win against whoever he peels off from afterwards. I'm hoping that's where they go with that. We'll see. But I'm really loving that the Royal Rumble is starting to take shape. Like I said, Braun Strowman's in it. Baron Corbin announced that he's going to be entering. He did that during AJ Styles and John Cena's contract signing. He'll face John Cena next week in a one-on-one match. That should be really good. The New Day announced that they're entering, all three of them. So we're starting to get some non-Goldberg-Lesnar entrants in. I'm hoping that by this time next week we'll have half of it announced. We're never going to get all 30 announced ahead of time because they love to have their surprises. We'll probably see an NXT guy. He may not be a call-up like we saw Hideo Itami at the Andre the Giant Memorial the first year, and he didn't get called up. It may just be like Rusev when he did his NXT appearance. It may just be a one-off. But I think we'll see at least one NXT wrestler in the Royal Rumble. They probably won't announce that ahead of time. They have in the past, but I don't think they will this time. But if we can get 15 to 20 announced by this time next week, I will be very happy. I think that's a little bit optimistic. We're probably closer to 10 to 12. But I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I personally am excited because this Sunday I'm getting to go see live wrestling. We got Raw coming through for a house show. They're going to be near me. Short trip. I'm going with a friend. Hopefully 2 friends. I don't know yet. But should be great tickets. I'm trying to go see live wrestling. I know I said on my resolutions video I'm trying to see more local wrestling. I am, but they haven't had a show yet. But WWE has. So I'm going, and I'm going to scream my ass off for every single wrestler. It's going to be amazing. I suggest any of you do the same. Every time I've gone to live WWE shows, it's been a blast. NXT was probably the best show, but I've been to other house shows in the area for the main roster, and they're always amazing. The talent just gives their all. There's no breaks for story progression. It's just wrestlers a lot of time having fun, and that comes across so much. I don't have a new wrestle bit for you this week to close out. I'm sorry for that. So all I'm going to do is tell you goodbye. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I appreciate it. Hit the like button if you like it. I'm going to toss up some videos here and here. I'll have my subscription button here. It would mean the world to me if you subscribe if you haven't already. As always, I love your faces. I am the Tramp. Cheers.